All right, it is Windows Utility Work Day, and we're going to be going through a couple PRs, probably merging some things, look at issues. It's just been a minute. One of the big things was a couple CVEs came out about WPBT, which is essentially a way for like things like ASUS motherboards and stuff to inject executables at an elevated privilege at boot. But there's been a bunch of exploits to this, so it can be very, very damaging. And ASUS is a terrible company. I got to say, the more I looked into a lot of this RCE that went with it, that can inject different things, and the fact this was in the wild for 6 months, documented in the wild for 6 months, and ASUS didn't even offer bug bounties for this. So ASUS, awful company, and I always hated the injection of ASUS and Armor Crate, but the more I look at this, the wilder it gets. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure like Low Level or somebody has covered how bad this exploit is. The thing about this that kind of drives me crazy too is a lot of people always shit on Linux for like sudo exploits and stuff. That came out earlier this year too. People were talking about that like crazy, but nobody's talking about this that much, at least from what I've known. So it's kind of wild that this is out there. So we'll talk about that today. Probably remove WPBT functionality from MicroWin, and I'm probably going to do a video about this just because I think we have to. What's up, ABS? Dude, it's been hot here. So I went and worked out yesterday after I got off stream, and it was about 103 degrees and at the gym, and it's not air conditioned, obviously. So, but lifetime PR, personal record, 235 pounds on bench. I was happy. I was way more than I thought I would do. By far, like probably 30 pounds over my last personal record. So I'm super, super stoked. Yeah, Caleb. So I looked more into that, the WPBT, and that is bad. Wow. Really, really bad. I didn't realize how bad that was, but I wanted to look more into it just because I hadn't really done much with it. I've always disabled Armory Crate on ASUS motherboards, but I actually looked more into the exploit, and there's multiple security researchers that found that. Looking at that link that you sent me, Caleb, and man, that blows my mind that ASUS is such a terrible company. Just, I cannot say enough bad things about them. It's not their first rodeo, and the fact they didn't even offer bug bounties to the security researchers, I think that's just crime. And if you buy ASUS products, just know you deserve to be exploited for using ASUS. I'm just done with them. I just cannot believe the just hubris that they've put into that. I'm just never gonna. I absolutely cannot buy any ASUS stuff ever again. It pisses me off so much. Yeah, man. I mean, one time I really enjoyed ASUS. 10, 15 years ago, I really enjoyed their laptops. But yeah, ASUS can go take a long walk off a short pier. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize Armor Crate utilizes the WBPT and then injects itself. Did Low Level do anything with this? Surely. He's always like on top of, or what's the other guy that does security stuff on YouTube? It's rather big. Drawing a blank. I'm in a Discord with him. I've even talked to him. Damn it. I am an awful person. I can't remember. All right, low level usually has this type of stuff, but let's see. I don't see anything here. Ah, yep, there it is.
Is your home router part of a botnet? It could be. There are thousands of home routers that are still vulnerable to
This is another ASUS problem, isn't it? Oh
tons of exploits. Titus has identified ongoing exploitation of ASUS routers that are exposed to the internet. They are being used as operational relay boxes, as part of operational relay box networks for people that are doing cyberspace espionage. See there. What is an operational relay box, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Imagine you're a hacker, right? And you're over here and you're like, wow, look at me, I'm a hacker. And you draw a little smiley face and you have a great...
Oh my god, this is another exploit from ASUS. God bless, is ASUS just vibe coding all their hardware now? Like, what the hell? Okay, yeah, this is not... Nah, it wasn't Kit Boga. Ah, John Hammond. That's who it was. That's the remember. Okay, yeah. That's who else I was thinking. So, this was another exploit from ASUS. ASUS, what a shit company. Wait. Ah, here we go. There it is.
One-click RCE in ASUS's pre-installed driver software. I saw this article. I had to read it.
That's the one. That's the one I have up over here. Yep. So, yes, he did do that. That's cool. All right. Wow. Like, bro. I always vibe code. I'm not a billion-dollar company. I'm one man in his garage. I can vibe code. I'm not a billion-dollar company. And if I were, I would give some bug bounties out to security researchers and actually, like, QC my shit. Like, come on. Titus, you see the red text theme for YouTube? Oh, I had not. Oh. No excuses for vibes. I think, honestly, it's really good for scaffolding. Like, I really enjoyed setting up, like, the F stack yesterday. And I really like it for learning. So, it's fine for that. But I'm not a professional programmer. Not. People don't pay me money to program. It's two different things. So you can't shit on me for vibing. That's gonna happen. Just get used to it. Yeah, I know. Microsoft's 30% is probably higher than that now, coding. Did you solve the warning message when patching I showed you a while ago? Jog my memory, Christoph. Which one were we talking about? Warning match they're gonna patch. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've been in freaking Windows, man. Sure. It's from the beginning, file not found. Which patch are we talking about? I mean, Windows is fine with enough modifications. Like, I know Windows really well. It's still... If I had to pick one operating system and only one, I would probably pick Windows still. As much as I shit on it. It's the one I know the most. It's the one I can get the most done in. And that's still true today. Real talk. I hate it. But if I could only pick one, it'd be the one I pick. Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a good operating system, but everything's made for it. You know? Every game's made for it. Every I mean, just all the hardware I have is made for it. So I still use Windows, but man, oh man. Yeah. Ugh. Some of the stuff they do is just blows my mind. Yeah, old Bill, man. Epstein's best friend, old Bill. Have you tried Omarchy? No. I think we're gonna try that next week. Oh well, no. Actually, no. We looked at it. I didn't like it using Waybar, and I didn't like a couple other aspects of it. So I don't think I'm actually gonna try it. I like my minimal Hyperland type setup. And the Hyperland's been all right. I think I'll go back to DWM though, just because everything just works really well in DWM. It's real minimal, and I don't think I'll ever be able to get off of DWM, to be honest with you. I don't know why. Just bugs in GIMP, drag and drop issues. I mean, I do have like land mouse working, but every time I go on Wayland, I just have weird bugs. It's just not great. And when I'm in Linux, I just want shit to work. And Wayland just has a few meh turnoffs. And it's been that way forever. I don't think that's ever going to change. There's just how Wayland's structured is more secure than Xorg, but it's not a great setup. It's still very... I'm not sold that it's actually a good structure. Like, I get that it was coded better and all this other stuff that Wayland shills will tell you, but I'm not convinced it's a better setup. I think after more than a decade of development, I don't think it's still ready for prime time, and I don't think it ever will be. I'm to that point. I know a lot of people are like, everyone's switching to Wayland. Yeah, nah. I think Xorg is just going to be the de facto standard for now until you move to Mac OS. DWM's not Wayland. That's Xorg. It will never support it. You have DWL as a sister project, but I don't know, guys. Every time I use it, it's just like, this is buggy. It's not a good experience. And I don't think it ever will be. Maybe I'm just jaded because I've been trying it for the past 7 years. It's actually been around for 15 years of development, actually. I think it was sometime in like 2010. But I just don't ever see Wailing ever making it to the finish line. I think people will start putting as defaults, and then they'll be like, oh, guess what? More shit doesn't work. Oh, guess what? Oh, NVIDIA, oh, this is a little more buggy. It's just, I don't ever see it ever working. It's just not. I think it'll work for some people, but a complete solution it is not. That's where I'm kind of at on Wayland. I don't know. I just don't. Wait another 10 years, maybe. Yeah. I think a lot of people like to crap on all these different... truly, a lot of people that don't watch me and then watch my macOS video got really offended and thought I just absolutely hate macOS. And I was like, that's not true. I just think some of the defaults are just really bad. And whenever I look at an operating system or a setup, I always try and pick out the weakest links and the things that make it bad or make it inferior or worse. And then I'm like, hey, can I fix that? And that's what I always look at and focus on. So a lot of people might just call me a negative Nancy because of me always picking on things. But I don't know. It's just where my mind goes. It just looks at it and goes, how could this be better? Where's the weak spots? And then that's what I always gravitate to. Yeah, it's NVIDIA. They're still lagging behind, true, but like drag and drop functionality into GIMP didn't work. Maybe in 3.0 of GIMP it works, but then 3.0 also breaks a lot of things for me. So I got to rewrite like my script foo stuff. And then you have a lack of integration, like when it comes to screen sharing and other things like Synergy. That doesn't work. But you can use like landmouse as a break fix, but that's pretty insecure. It's, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just not great. A lot of people in Linux love to tell you, hey, this works, and it probably does work on their systems pretty well. But when I use it, all I see is problems. And it's not like it's not usable. Yeah, we're on Windows today. Obviously, I can sit in anything. But it's not a good experience. And it's never going to be a good experience for the general population. And I think the Linux people need to realize that. I just don't. For most configurations, I think people are going to have some problems. And those problems will drive people away from Linux as a desktop. So, I don't know. God, I think I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, if you have to ask, just use Windows or Mac. It's kind of like, oh, maybe you just caught me on a bad day or something. I don't know. Oh, let's see. Not a recognized commandlet. I think that's 24H2 when this was added. Oh no, it's still happening in 24H2. Well then. We'll have to take a look at that. Do we have repair? Oh, it's there. Oh no. Huh. Let's try get helpful. Repair WinGet package manager. So if we look at that, not found. I don't think that's actually correct. That's obviously wrong. Okay, well, it's worth a shot. I gotta figure out why it's doing that. It could be. Yeah, maybe they don't have this done through the app installer, or possibly it gets brute force installed. Although every time I install it, it's fine on latest ones. So I don't know. That's weird. Oh yeah. Debian 13. Debian's always got a soft spot for me. I've always enjoyed Debian. Yeah, freedom of Linux is always the thing that always makes me love them the most. That's the thing. As much as I like to complain about all this stuff on Linux, at least you can change everything. There's nothing you can't change on Linux. That's what makes it great. But it also is kind of what makes it niche, and will always make it niche. Because when you give people too much choice, they get They don't know what to follow. And there is a lot of knowledge to know on Linux. But I still am making the Linux book, and I'm still documenting everything as I go about moving through things in Linux. So it's not awful. Let's start looking. I'm going to start jamming through some of these pull requests. Let's see what we got. Pull requests. First off, the manual tweak. Yeah, I'm just not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure on this. Let's see. Yeah, some configurations are just not there depending on the version of Windows you use. That's true. I believe so. To tackle this issue, we first either need to fix the run space console logs. Yeah, God. It's a bit of a mess. I agree with many of the points raised. Yeah. The sys benchmarks are probably pretty good. Disabling audio service, that's weird. W-search is going to break a bunch of shit. WLAN service is going to disable all the wireless. BFE, that's going to break a bunch of Bluetooth. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I want to tackle all this today. I just keep pushing this back, though. We might just have to grind through this. Windows. That link doesn't lead to exactly where I wanted to go, but talked about the WPBT exploit. Yeah, it just sets to manual. We don't really disable stuff. Alright. Man. Alright, let's just work on... Let's. I'm just going to push that back. Let's just go to the pull request. Let's just go there. Alright, first up, fixing the credentials in the system. I think we looked at this. I don't know. I think this is the credential system that he's going for, which I get. Trying to install Starship, okay. Bless it, sign me out. 1 second. Yeah, for Windows Update, actually, we could do CLI-based stuff as well if we didn't want to use the official Windows Updater. Okay. Let's first... What? Maybe update profile? That's up to date. Why is Zoxide not there? It's gonna be one of them days. It's gonna be one of them days. All right. I don't have. What? Probably like profile. Let's see if we can't. What happened here? Okay. Try. There we go. Do we not have Zoxide? Oh, I think this if statement looks wrong to me. Oh no, Zoxide's there. Does this not function? Like if we take this. Okay, that works. So why does that not? What's happening? Git command Zoxide error action silently continue. That's fine, but that invoke expression's not going through. Why is that? Huh. We'll have to work on that again. All right. All right, let's grab that. Let's do a compile run. Before we start going, let's first make sure we're up to date on our branch. Do a run. Make sure there's no formatting in the compiler. And see what we see. All right, so this looks good. Tweaks. All this looks good. Let's see, was there anything? I thought we had the WPBT tweak in here as well. Debloat, Brave, and Edge need to get pushed into here. And yeah, I guess it's not there. Maybe there's a pull request. That's fine. All right, we're nice and clean. Did our practice compile. Let's just change that credential system. Remove my password and done an installation. Wingit. Okay. Yeah, we've always had problems with Spotify. Spotify has to be installed from a user, and we're launched as admin, so you have to do like this weird change user. Let's try this. I believe there was another. Unidad one. Let's see, was there... Oh, I didn't... No? Alright. Let's get poll. Do another compile run. I don't think I even remember the password for this one. What was it? Oh, we do have a Microsoft account assigned to this one. Spotify. Where are you at, Spotify? Spotify install. Oh, that's right. I think we did a chocolatey. Oh, it defaulted as chocolatey. That'll probably actually install just fine. All right, 3188 added WPPT. Okay. Okay, that's worked for Spotify, but now let's go WinGet. Let's uninstall Spotify. Uninstall. God, I hate this new. I know it's not really that new anymore, but it just sucks. It's like a really bad wrapper on the old uninstaller. Alright, switching over to WinGet. And we're going to go Spotify on WinGet now. Now this should fail since we're on an admin prompt, and WinGet does not like to install Spotify through admin. Looks like our WinGet's out of date as well. Let's see if the update works. What's up, Tails? Yeah, you'll kind of notice on my WinGet too. I almost do absolutely zero AI work on it. Just because there's so many little nuances, and AI does not do good with PowerShell at all. A lot of the logic it gets lost in, and there's not that many examples of PowerShell scripts that utilize runtimes. So when it comes to LLMs, it just really doesn't do a very good job. Is that working? Well, this is the question. Does not appear to be working to me. No. No. No bueno. Never mind. I think it's just enter. Oh, well. Yeah, I don't know what my password is. I guess we could set a password. Alright. I actually kind of like that. I think that is fine. I would like to test. Fine. Did they remove control from the... No, it's still there. I guess maybe just won't link it to what I need. It says it's password protected. Dang. What's my password? Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4? Let's just do run as. Let's go. We'll do profile. Actually, I think we can just do an ENV. Let's do ENV user. I think we can just go subscribe and CMD. Okay. Okay, maybe. Nope. I think we need to put the machine name here. User passwords too. Yeah. Sorry, Dathis. It's been too long. Apparently, I just brain farted this morning. I've done that a gajillion times. And for some odd reason, I just... You got a fixed Enron. Turns out if you run WinUtil as root, it creates the build folder. Oh, yeah. Never run as root. So true. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Just a permissions issue. That makes sense. Yeah, it should warn you on startup too. Like, hey, you're running as root. We don't ever like that because it should prompt you for your password when doing something as a sudo or super user. What did I use for this damn thing? Maybe my machine. Machine name. What is this machine name? I think it's like Studio VM. Okay, device name Studio VM. Let's try that as a domain name. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Sweet. Super secure password. Okay, cool. Now we can test this. I just was like, what did I make the password? Yeah, sure enough, that was the password. Alright, well, I think this originally was a virtual machine, so that's why it was so rudimentary. Alright, cool. I was halfway joking, but so be it. Let's do our compile run and test Spotify install through WinGit again. So let's go Spotify, Spot, WinGit, and now we should have elevation and installation. So let's see what we get. Spotify has age verification? That's weird. All right, it should fail because Spotify hates being installed as admin. So, a user prompt, kind of hidden. All right, so then let's try the password. Hot dog. That did work. Good PR. Man. Very, very good. Nice. What a great job. I need to give Una tried. Thank you. That was an amazing PR. Sorry it took 3 minutes to merge. The guy's like, dude, what the hell, Titus? Whatever happened? Okay. Time, date. Was there... I think this was fine. I can't remember. I think there was one thing I wanted to change in there, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, just, yeah. Let's just check this guy out. What theme was I using last time I opened this up? My word. Can you change that? Thank you. About to say, that can't be my thing. Ugh. Ew, brother. Ew. We were doing one-shot work. I think I might change one-shot and do a complete refactor from C# to F#. People be like, but why? And the answer to that is simply because I like F#. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with F# lately. Just... I think the language looks good. Alright, we're still updating. Let's open recent, WinUtil. Let's go GitHub. The gits of the hub. Let's go down to draft. Okay, so then we got that. Sign into GitHub again. 1 second. Update. Should be fine. Alright, now everything's up to date. Great. Now we can go into here. Pull this time date legacy panel. And we're going to check this out really fast. If we look at the difference or the diff here, I think it was the feature requests. I wanted to change how this is specified. Invoke buttons, time date, and then time date over here. Let's check this out. All right. And what we're gonna do is come into tweaks JSON. Let's find time and date. Date. Oh, we're in tweaks, not. Feature. All right. I just want to change some of the formatting here. Oh. Not quite. Ah, geez. Whatever. Why, oh why is this not alphabetical? God mode. I'm getting rid of God mode. It's so stupid. Nobody uses that shit. organize this a little better. Just annoying, man. Okay, so we got system, sound, time, date, printer. Sound's in here twice. Region. Okay. Actually, this time date should be all lowercase. The technically should be probably camel case or something, but nope, not time date. We're just gonna match what we have. And the network's wrong as well. Sorry, all. I know this is a little monotonous, but this is Windows. This is what you get. And, oh god, I gotta change this too. Now that matches, it's in alphabetical order. We have proper casing. It's little things like that that just makes it more readable and maintainable long term. So yes, it's a pain, but what else? God modes like this old like Windows 7 BS. It shouldn't really be used today. I don't know why I accepted that pull request for it. Whatever. Let's see. What was the... So we got feature request, but we also need to change the XML around as well. So let's go invoke WPF button next. So let's go to functions. Invoke WPF button. I believe it's in public actually. Invoke WPF button. And this is what needs to be changed. So we have control panel, which is fine, but time date is off. Date. Computer, region, sound. Let's put that there. Printer. Reorg these. Thanks for that. Panel user. Well, actually, we're going to change that. Yeah, let's go network. Do we still have panel user over here under feature? Did this get moved somewhere else? It did, didn't it? It's somewhere else in here. God bless it. Panel user. User? User. Where is user? What's this invoking? Panel user. This. Where are you? Oh, okay. That makes more sense. God bless it. All right. Get rid of that crap. I know it's just like the rest of this still looks kind of like ass, but it's fine. It's totally fine. All right, what do we got? I know control comes after computer, but whatever. Control being at the top, I'm okay with, just because that's like a master thing, so that's fine. Let's save that and that. You didn't mention how to make a CI on GitHub if one doesn't have the money to run a reliable server. Did you make such a video? I don't think I did, Christoph. I think these days I would just use Cloudflare. Cloudflare Pages is completely free. And here they allow just stupid amounts of traffic. I think I filtered more than a terabyte for free through Cloudflare. I think I ended up giving them like 20 bucks for something. Can't remember what it was for. But that's just because I kind of felt bad. Because they are losing their ass on my website. Eventually they'll fix the glitch. Okay. Now that we have some standardization in the code and it doesn't look so bad, we went back through and cleaned up a bunch of this. Let's do a compile and test these panels. And then we'll submit this directly to Drift's branch. And Bob is our mother's brother. Here we go. All right, compile, run. Great. Now we test all of our shortcuts. So, computer management. Boom. Control panel. Boom. Network management. Great. Power panel. Perfect. Printer panel. Old school printer panel. Still comes in a lot of handy. That's probably like the best one that pretty much everyone should still use. Is managing printers in the new settings is just straight up awful. Gravy. Standardization. Let's see. Upstream branch does not match your current branch. To push to upstream branch on remote. What do I want to do? Probably just push it to the head, right? Something like that would be the way to go. I don't think I need to specify a branch, right? The upstream branch or your current branch does not match the name of your current branch. No, I don't. That might fail, actually. I think I need to do the other one. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure you got to do this way. Yeah. Gravy. So then when we refresh this, we're just fixing a couple standardizations, kind of cleaning this up a bit so it looks less second grader-ish. And that looks great. Remove God mode just because it's kind of silly. Let's approve this and submit. Clean that up a bit. Perfect. Squash and merge, move on. What are your thoughts on Power Toys, and do you use it? Yeah, I use Power Toys, and it should already be in there. So, if you look, here, we'll pull down these changes real fast. We'll do a compile run. Power Toys should already be in here. I've used Power Toys for a while, and I think that's one big reasons I had my utility. It was one of the first ones we used. Power Toy. Yeah, Power Toys is there. It's under Microsoft Tools. So yeah, that's already there. All right, cool. Add a toggle multi-plane overlay. Adds the option to toggle multi-layer, which is included in 8.1, which causes issues in GPUs. Disable multi-plane overlay, which sometimes causes issues with graphics cards. And that's in. Yeah, I'm good with that. What I think I'll do is go through the tweaks, and I think it's time to reorg those again, kind of clean them up a bit. They get kind of moved around from different tweaks getting added. So, new Outlook, gross. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that a lot. All right, toggle new Outlook. That's funny. He was the one that did the multi-plane. That's funny. Let's fix this. I know. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Oh, links after that and before that. Okay. So link should be. My bad. And I want to say registry. We got. And then we do a comma value there. bring this back. Oh, actually. Something like that. So that should be fine. Oh yeah, WinUtil for sure, Dan. I've really enjoyed that. WinUtil is about to go through a massive refactor though. So the problem I have with WinUtil right now is the structure of its has to be completely changed. Because right now you have to launch it from a terminal interface, meaning you can't just double click it and then run it. It'll constantly say like homebrew is not installed. It won't be able to detect crap because there's no active terminal. So if it doesn't have an active terminal, there's nowhere to do this stuff. So you have to open up a terminal and go open space dot, or you know, the path to the WinUtil app, and then it works. But that's just not user friendly. So I think what we're gonna do is rip out the entire output function of WinUtil, and we'll have to embed a terminal directly in it, which is fine. I don't know how big of a deal that's gonna be. It might be a big deal though. We'll see. We'll see how big of a deal it is. Probably next week we'll tackle that. Maybe this weekend. Shoot. No, I'm not gonna be here this weekend. Never mind. That's not gonna work. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like the Mac utility, it's not like, so the Windows utility, it literally makes it run faster because there's less crap running in the background. So it is faster after, you know, you do your tweaks in the Windows utility. The Mac utility, it's kind of funny. We're not making less stuff run on Mac. If anything, it's actually adding more stuff. From like homebrew to install process, those types of things. So it actually, one could say, bloats up the install. But the funny thing is, by just removing some like the animations and making everything snappy with less delays, there's all this artificial delays built into Mac OS that just kind of make it feel slow, or make it feel slower than how fast it can be. I really like just snappy, no animation, just get me there. And it's just a strange choice from Apple, where I was like, and I think that was like too long didn't watch of my Mac OS defaults are insane video. Can we relent this just to make sure I didn't screw it up on this? Oh, no, it did. It relented fine. Okay, cool. New toggle and Outlook. Looking good. Approved. God, I hate New Outlook. The rage in my video about New Outlook was real. So stupid. Updates to disabled oh god, here we go. It's only a matter of time. Well, maybe not. Let's see. That's pretty well documented. Okay. He's adding SIUF rules. Keyword. What? All right, we're in current user. So HTCU software, Microsoft, Microshaft, SIUF rules. What the hell is type keyword? Is that a misspell? It's got to be a misspell. No, keyword, 64-bit value. Huh. Let's double check that somewhere on the internet. Okay, that just deletes it. Rules, and then let's add, what is that, period and nanoseconds. Let's see what other people have put for this. It is a keyword. Huh. Delete the keyword. Wow. Just taking it out. Okay, so it just says to delete it. So interesting. So this is actually incorrect. Well, that's why we double check. Yeah, that's good. Huh. I'm kind of curious, since it's labeled as a D word in here, which I think is actually incorrect. We'll have to go and check that. Delivery optimization, download only 1 changes it to a 0. Download only mode is a 0. So what's going on here? We have local machine. That looks like policies. Microsoft delivery optimization. But that changes download only mode to 0, turns it off. Delivery optimization should be on with the DO download mode. So I have it at 0. This disables peer-to-peer caching, but still allows delivery module to download content over HTTP from Microsoft Cache Server. Provides switching into 1, which is the new setting. this does, it enables peer-to-peer sharing on the same network. The delivery service finds clients that connect to the internet in the same IP as the target client. Okay, so one's fine. You just don't want to do 2 or 3 where it'll literally use you as essentially a server for the world. That's just really, really not good. So one's fine. LAN is okay. Okay. Yeah, that's a good change.
Yeah, well.
Fat Bastard, thank you for the gifted sub, man. Much appreciated. So that's a good one. Let's approve this. Solid changes all around. I was expecting like a nuke the world type commit on that. Anytime I see like disabled telemetry modifications, I'm like, oh god, here it comes. But surprisingly, a very solid couple little bug fixes. PR adds the option to control the resume feature introduced in 24H2. Cross-device resume. That just sounds like a terrible idea. All right. Let's see what Coding Wonders put here. Looks like it's just a registry. Is resume allowed? 1 for enabled, 0 for disabled. Wow. That is wild. What a crazy tweak. Sure. It's meant to be a thing that Apple does where you continue the session from your phone on your Mac, etc. Yeah, I guess. I mean, we'll just add the tweak. I mean, honestly, most people are just going to want that off. Update to Razor Tweak plus comments update. Man, I haven't updated my Razor Tweak in years. What you doing here? Driver searching. Disable sync. Okay. Don't necessarily like it when people add extra shit into their PRs, but it's nothing that big. I do agree with removing this, though. Driver searching, honestly, just shouldn't be messed with in the telemetry tweaks. So removing that's fine. And then he's just fixing a couple of capitalization errors and standardization, adding a warning here, and then changes to Explorer. No, those are just comments. So he's just fixing comments. Fixing comments and then removing driver searching from telemetry. Just expand down 1 second. Yeah. I'll allow it. That's fine. Add scaling functionality ability for, oh wow, can we do that? No way. That looks cool. How do you do this XAML has that function? He wrote the function. Wow. Son of a bitch. I thought he was just going to pull a library in. Instead, he just created his own library, essentially, to do the scaling. That's pretty funny. Wow. My head is off to this guy. If it works, we'll have to check that out. 3505. Oh, wow. Wow. That's impressive. All right, let's git pull. Let's do a compile run. Shouldn't have anything. All we really messed with was tweaks, but just to make sure there's no syntax errors. Ooh, we got a syntax error. New Outlook migration user setting does not exist and no default state is defined. Line 717. Oh, let's fix that. Alrighty, what do we got? So in the run space, if check get WinUtil status. Okay. That's just the toggle. Double check that again. What's the error? Toggle status. Entity for new does not exist or no default state. Ah, okay, so this is being called with this setting. Let's see what this setting is then. That's there. Then we got this one that's being called. Tweaks. So path name, value, origin value, default state is not there. Let's find exactly what the stats would be on this. I think we're missing a couple types here. Ugh, gosh. I don't know what it is, but every time I work on Windows, it kind of puts me in a bad mood. Oh well. Maybe just because I worked on it for so long. It just made me jaded. Alright, so if we look at this, let's bring this down a bit. First off, let's fix that. It should be Office Outlook Preferences. Let's double check that. So Office Outlook. I don't see Outlook anywhere. Sad face. Let's install Outlook. Who doesn't love the registry? Said no one ever. Outlook. Someone mentioned you look haggard when working on the Windows utility. It's true. It's true. It's just always disappointing is all. Like, no hope of it ever becoming better is, like, possible. Like, I think that's the nice thing about, like, Linux or even Mac. Some updates, you're like, oh, well, that's a cool new feature. Or, oh, that's a nice evolution. It just doesn't ever happen to me on Windows. Like, every time something new gets added, it's just like, oh, God. What extra shit did they try and sneak in through the back door that I gotta rip out now? And that's kind of like how I feel about it, which is awful, you know? This is so jank. Alright, let's relaunch. So that... Do we have an Outlook now? Microsoft Office. We do not. All right, because this isn't real Outlook that's installed. It's fake Outlook. I don't even have a license for real Outlook anymore. Whatever, we're just gonna wing it and go from the web. You think you navigated the wrong registry directory? Maybe, let's see. Let's double check that before we get too crazy here, agreed. Alright, so we should be in HKey current user, software. You're right. You are right. Good catch. God, I love Twitch chat. It's the best. Best ever. Software. Policies. I missed the policies. My bad. This is all wrong, though. Yeah, the policies. So that... yeah. I see what Drift is using here, but the caps are wrong, which does matter, believe it or not. A lot of times that would cause a problem. So, let's just get a double check here. Let's give me the registry. Registry value. This is do new migration auto migration. Do Outlook migration user setting is actually what I need. So that's not right. Is there any other settings? So this one's current user, software policies, Microsoft Office, Outlook, options general to prevent users from changing this. So do new Outlook auto migration. God, this is awful. This is what we need though. No, we're gonna leave that as 0 and 0. We never want an auto migration. That's just awful. But also, hide new Outlook toggle right there is perfect. Block Outlook pre-install on Windows. Also remove this orchestrator registry value. I don't feel like removing it though. I don't think that's really necessary. Block new install as part of mail in calendar. Again, AppX. Alright, manage with user policy. We already did this, except for right here. Okay, this is where Drift was grabbing it from. So here's another auto migration setting. So this is Office. The documentation for Microsoft's wrong. They would never do that. So that was a D word actually. So default state. Let's go false. And then we'll just fill all of that in. But we're going to change Outlook preferences. Then we're going to change this. New Outlook user migration setting. User setting right here. Check that. That's going to be a 0. Yeah, it's kind of weird because they have it in a couple different spots. So like for the hide Outlook new toggle, typical Microsoft fashion. Look at the top here, I think it showed it. Hide new, they didn't use the policy folder. That's actually just a setting within Outlook. Where this is in a GPO, so this would be in like an ADMX template. So GPO admin template would be there. It's just kind of like, brah. Ugh, it's gross. It's making me ill. Anyways, that just kind of improves what Drift did. We just added another value. Let's double check this value. Just save this. Close. Let's recompile. Oh, yay. Nothing there. Great. And then if we look, we should have, see new Outlook. You can disable that. And say disable this. Multiplane, we also have an issue with multiplane. Let's see what that looks like. What's going on with that? We got a null exception for overlay test mode. Let's fix that too. Okay. Bro. Bit of a slog this morning, I gotta say. Overlay test mode. Let's look this one up. Let's double check that value. So if we look, we got HKLM, boom. We got software, boom. Microshaft, yep. Windows, DWM. Then we have overlay test mode, value 5, original value, remove entry, default state true, type D word. I think it's the caps again, man. Drift. Gotta get you, gotta talk to you about your caps. I think that's what's getting us. Software, Microsoft, Windows, DWM, boom. Software is in full caps, it looks like. Microsoft, Windows, DWM. That looks good. And overlay test mode looks good. It's a D word, default state true, remove entry on the original state. Yes. Let's see if that gives us any love. It looks like it was just DWM. That might have been wrong. Tweaks. Still no love. Huh. What can we do? Cannot bind argument to parameter message because it is null. What is going on with that? So it's a toggle, but I don't think the toggle works because the value doesn't exist. Let's see, that might be true. Yeah. Yep. So let's say we go new D-word value, overlay, test mode, D-word, but we do a value of 5. Now I bet you that error goes away because it's no longer a null value. What's up, Blowjack? Trying to grind through this WinUtil stuff. We're getting there though. Slowly but surely. All right, no whammy. Yeah. So when let's say we disable it. Let's close it again. Now, if we look back in our regedit, we'll notice that it's like disappeared. I did end up breaking power toys. That's funny. That's good. So the value is gone now, but watch this. When we go back in, the error shall return, I bet you. Because of how toggles work. So we might need to change the toggle. But if we go new, then the toggle works. Okay. Yeah. So if it's on and the default toggle. All right. So let's look at that. Toggle. So WPF toggle. Multi-plane overview. There's that one, but that is referenced. Oh, okay, that does still work, huh? All right, quick break by me. Let's go toggle. Toggle. All right, I shall return. 1 second. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of like a weird. It's not you, Drift. You did it right. It's the toggle is from the value not existing because it's removed when it's not set, and because of how that toggle structure works is it was enabled by default. And enabled by default typically would mean there's some value there, but there's not a value there by default. So then when you go to turn it off, it tries to remove a value that doesn't exist, and that's why you get that error. It doesn't really matter. It's not a big deal. You know, people might like make an issue about it, but it's not really an issue. It's just kind of like a meh. Nobody likes red text in the terminal kind of thing. Be right back. Look at that. Perfect timing. It's like I planned it that way. Oh, boy. Okay, dokie. Oh, what are we at? Continuing on. It's an interesting tweak, though. Probably do some kind of... The font scaling I really want to try out. Multiplane. Gosh, what do I want to do here? I guess let's look at the tweak. WPF. What is it? Toggle status. So what we want to do here is probably omit if value null. We need to do a null check. Brain's not working all that well, so you know we'll have to check on that if false. I'll worry about it later. It's fine. The tweak is fine. It's just I need to do a null check somewhere in there, and I just not feeling that. Let's double check. What do we change here? Auto migration and then a DWM fix. Let's just do minor fixes. Just a couple caps and few standardizations, which is nothing big. All right, now let's get to that PR that I wanted to try with scaling. I thought that'd be kind of cool. Scaling for accessibility. Let's check this out. This looks so crazy. I didn't even know this could be done. All right, let's see what we got. Spooky Bites You. What a cute name. That's funny. All right, so let's see what the compile looks like. All right, so old Spooky here added a scaling feature. Super scale. I mean, it works. Let's go super small. What do we got? Little teeny tiny. I mean, it pretty much works. I mean, the fact this was all hard-coded by him, this isn't like some library or something. I mean, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, I understand the button text is run off, but honestly, when you have like a 4K monitor or something, it's not going to matter. That's when you're going to adjust the scale anyways. That's neat. Very impressive. Very impressive. The fact that works is just kind of blows my mind. Oh, let's see. Coding Wonders said something in chat. Let's pop into chat real fast. Sorry. I'm just trying to get one through. Remember PR 2618 where we tried to import WinUtil config files for MicroWin? It got rejected back then because the UI was bloated, but given the recent streamlining, it could be added. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we can do that coding. I think I remember us doing I remember us taking the shortcut out because of a virus false flag. But we could probably do something with the config files and just run the tweaks after. I mean, heck, you could just program that into like a batch script. That's what most people do, especially when they're doing like God, what you call it? NT Lite. Jeez. Brain is not working today. I just started the stream too early, that's what happened. You basically pass along the JSON file you exported, and it'll run WinUtil with that config file. Yeah. That's a pretty good idea. Just do basic tweaks. I almost, though, now that I'm thinking about it, so how I would do it if I was making an ISO, I would almost not, I mean, the tool already runs and does all this stuff, so it'd be like reinventing the wheel. But a part of me says the registry edits should be done directly. Nah, that's too much. Yeah, no. That's totally fine coding. It's better than what it was. So let's go into here. Just close those guys. This scaling feature is pretty darn cool. Nice job. It's not perfect, but honestly, it's progress. So I think we'll do that. Update vital. Oh, Python's 3.13 now, huh? Really? Oh, let's see. Python. What do we have? What are the Python packages available? All right, here's Python. Yeah, 3.13. You know what they should do? They should just have like a Python stable package, right? Python just feels like one of those languages that just kind of got cobbled together. And it's just like, it works. It does a ton of crap, but it's a bit jank. I think Python is the jankiest language ever. In every aspect. It's pretty jank. A lot of people use it. Don't get me wrong, there's definitely some use cases for Python, but I think it's just super, super janky. Anyways. Anytime I look at Python, I'm just like, ugh. It's fine. I mean, it's functional. But, yeah. Alright, well, I guess we can improve that. It doesn't matter. It's just changing from 12 to 13. Python? I don't think it's the most jank. What would you be your most jank language, Rux? I wonder. Fix, disable Windows consumer features in MicroWin new uninstall. From David. What do you got? Yes, that does look correct. Oh. Okay. Team just noticed with the disable Windows consumer features, when it's set to 1, complainers were complaining about the fact they couldn't use phone link. As far as I'm aware, I've asked the team, no one has set this to 1. Anyone know if there's a new default setting? Not a lot of documentation. That's a shocker. It's Microsoft. Okay. Yeah, that shouldn't be disabled. This breaks phone link and possibly other built-in Microsoft products that users may use. That users use out of the box. MicroWin's supposed to be just a blank slate. It's not meant to be a massive tweak. It's meant to just be like, hey, there's not a whole bunch of extra bullshit in here, and everything works as it's intended. So it shouldn't break any built-in Microsoft features. So some people get in and go, oh, it needs to be like, I'm not trying to compete with other like Atlas OS or Tiny 11 or any of that crap. Like, those guys go through and they try and really, really thin down and install as much as possible, but that also can break some compatibility with Microsoft products. The idea with MicroWin is to leave all functionality of all Microsoft products intact while also not having a bunch of bloat and other crap, and just have a stock, sane defaults. That's all MicroWin is. It's not trying to tweak. It's not trying to bloat at an insane level. That's not its purpose. Its purpose is just to have a perfect blank slate for users to start with. And I'm talking about all users, not just power users. So I don't need to actually run that workflow. We'll just close this. So we shall close that, and that's good. Coding's still working on the MicroWin draft. Set services to manual tweak for WinUtil. Ooh, man. Gotta look at that. But I don't want to. It's like, Java. Oh, man. Yeah. I feel that. Can you check your review of AXOS in the next week or so? What the hell's AXOS? Is that like a Linux distro or something? No, don't tell me it's another Arch fork. Yeah, no. I'm out. I'm out. Not another distribution. Yeah, like, oof. Bro, you need to get some sleep. Hey, sleep when I'm dead. No. I just woke up early this morning. You know, old person problems. Sometimes you just wake up and you're just like, all right, well, I'm awake. Let's do this. And that's just how it goes sometimes. I'll probably take a nap or something. Yeah, that's a massive problem. Lots and lots of old Javas just floating around. God, you remember, I don't know, I think Java finally fixed this, but you know all the Java runtimes that get installed on client machines? And it would just install multiple different runtimes all the time. It would never remove the old runtime. So there'd just be like 5 or 6 Javas installed on a machine. I haven't really messed around with the consumer machines that much in the past, 5 years or so. So I can't really tell you if that's still happening, but man, was that a problem. And just think of all like the security problems with leaving old runtimes on there. Oh God, MySQL. God, or not MySQL, MS SQL. Yeah. Well, the problem with MS SQL is the licensing. So people would have licenses, and then it gets really expensive to upgrade. And businesses would be like, yeah, but what do I get with this new version? And you'd be like, well, not much of anything, really. And they're like, yeah, we're good. And that's usually what happens. Yeah, the problem with like Java, JavaScript, a lot of the different, that whole scene, it's constantly changing, and I just, you just have to like full time that crap to really understand it at a very good level, and I just don't have the time to deal with it. It's just like, no, I'm good. Yeah, that's the problem, though. It just changes so much. Like, when it comes to JavaScript, good night. Talk about just change after change after change. I don't even know what the hell it's even supposed to look like anymore. It's just like, ugh. But yes, I mean, if you're going to learn a language, definitely JavaScript would be the one to go for. Because that shit is everywhere. It's just everywhere. All right, Windows utility. I think we're pretty much good. Let's go ahead and create a release, and we'll just leave this as a pre-release, and then we'll go from there. I'll sign it, and we'll do a regular release sometime in the future. I'm not gonna sign this one yet. Which do you prefer, JavaScript or Python? I don't know. Neither. I'm not very good with either, so I don't really have a preference. It's just like, well, all right, what's it written in? Sure. Let's do it. I'll hack around, get whatever it is working, and then move on. Yeah, I think pretty much all the new hotness these days is just TypeScript. So most people use TypeScript instead of JavaScript, which, I mean, types are nice to define out and everything, so I get it. But, it's just, I don't know. None of them are my jam. Nothing that I've ever been in for more time than I've had to. I've learned enough to where I was like, okay, cool. I just need to streamline like this website, and I need to make damn sure it's not just calling all the scripts. Like, what ends up happening with websites, because I'm usually the guy setting them up, not the guy programming them. Sometimes I'm both. But usually what I do is I look through it and I go, okay, you're calling 20 different CDNs for different scripts. What ones are we using? What ones aren't we using? Let's start let's start killing some of this. This is stupid. You got one you're calling for a stupid slider, and then you got an entirely different one you're using for your gallery, and then you got and there's just like bouncing all around when it comes to web devs, and I'm like, bro, I just can't. I can't with the structure. You need to like kill at least half of these. You're killing me on the response time. So like that's what happens with web developers. It's like they find like this big library that does a ton of things that is programmed like JavaScript, and then they use one thing out of it, like the slider of that one. And then they're like, you know what, but I like this library that does pretty much all the same thing as the other library, but I like the gallery view or something like that, or this certain feature out of that, even though this other one already has it, but they don't reference that one. They'll use this other one, and you're just like, oh my god. Designers are crazy. But I think nowadays you're starting to run into like people that are more there's probably a ton more like full stack developers out there that are doing the back end and the front end at the same time. I would imagine that's becoming much more commonplace. What time did you start your streams? Whenever I get around to it. So usually I'll get through my email, any other things, and then I'm like, all right, I'm good, and then I go from there. Have you used CPython before, or what do you think about it? I have not used it before, Gaiman. TS is just JS with the same framework. Yeah, it just has types, right? For TypeScript. Again, I don't program in Java or TypeScript, but JavaScript or TypeScript. So, yeah. Yeah, there's just so many damn frameworks for JavaScript. Like, just so many. It is just all over the place. And I'm just like, good night. Talk about no standardization. It makes the Linux community look like a joke comparatively. Fragmentation is a real thing. I'm locked out of Yahoo email. Oh my god. How many times has Yahoo email gotten hacked, by the way? Oh gosh. Yahoo's such a joke. I can't believe that's still around. Did they finally absorb like AOL and a couple others? I can't remember. Do you like to code in .NET? Yes. I can't tell you why, but I just enjoy the way it looks. Oh man, SBC Global. Yes, that's right. They absorbed whenever Southwest, what was it? Southwest Bell. But I think they now rejoined. They got broken up as a monopoly, but now they're back as AT&T. Because it used to be SBC Global, and now that's AT&T. Somehow the monopoly like rejoined itself. I don't know. I mean, it was all kind of a joke to begin with, but now it's even a bigger joke. I don't know. I don't think it's still a thing. SBC Park is now AT&T Ballpark. Yes, so then the monopoly never did. Oh my gosh. So crazy. So crazy. You're gonna scare all the youngins away. Yes, Jeeves. Yeah, well, I think it's just ask.com actually. So I think Ask Jeeves turned into ask.com, which is pretty funny. You guys remember Dogpile? That was like my search engine of choice back in the day. Dogpile. So you could actually search, and it like did this cumulative search back when there was actually like things other than Google and Microsoft running search. That was fun. Remember Alta Vista? Alta Vista. Yeah. Oh, Yahoo bought them out, so that's Yahoo now. That's funny. Man, yeah. Ah, the good old days. What about GeoCities? Is that still around? GeoCities. Oh, GeoCities.live. Oh god, the nostalgia is real. Oh my gosh. All right, well, I think we stumbled through most of WinUtil, and let's make sure that pre-release got out there 7 minutes ago. Let's go over, see what that looks like. I'm gonna leave it in a dev branch so people can test it out. Pre-release 8:01:25. There's that. Yeah, so that's there. But we'll do that. It's not signed yet, so we'll just leave it as the dev. This is just the dev one. I'm gonna leave that for about a week. So maybe next Friday we'll do a push it to latest. I'll have to pull it down and then do a self-signing. It requires a hardware key because I use the ungodly expensive EV cert that I have for it. Which I don't know how much difference that makes, whether it's signed or not, because we're running as admin, but I don't know. It makes me feel better. Taking a trip down memory lane with Chris, yeah. Oh god, Front Page was awful. I remember moving from Front Page to Dreamweaver, Macromedia Dreamweaver, before Adobe bought it, and that was great. So I loved Dreamweaver for a little bit, and then moved on from that. What tools do you use to sign Windows stuff? So I usually just use PowerShell Direct. So just sign tool directly from a PowerShell CLI. The new AT&T lacks the vertical integration that characterized the historic AT&T and led to the Department of Justice antitrust suit. Wow. We're not a monopoly, as we don't have the vertical integration. GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab. GitHub. GitHub for now, until Microsoft ruins it. And then I'll probably move to... I don't know if I would choose Bitbucket or GitLab, actually. I kind of like Git-T. Git-T is a good one that I think I kind of enjoy. I've also seen Codeberg. Codeberg is a decent one as well. So you got Git-T, Codeberg. There's a lot of fragmentation, a lot of competition kind of in that space. So, I mean, for me, it's GitHub. But if I would have done that, I probably would have moved something else. I looked at Omarchy. There's certain things about it I like. But I don't know. There's packages that DHH uses I don't particularly care for. Which is like Waybar, I'm not a huge fan of. And trying to think, there was a couple different packages in there. I just not my flavor. So I probably won't try it out. I mean, it's nice for a beginner on Arch Linux with Hyperland. I love the fact he created a script to set up things for people, because that is a good starting spot. I just like using like Quick Shell for my bar instead of a Waybar, and then I also a couple more dependency packages. I think his notification service is a little different from mine, which I think I might like his notification service better than mine, because I'm using Dunst and I think he's using Sway Notification Center. It's like these weird like nuanced tastes that make like. can't really use someone else's rice in Linux. You kind of have to create your own. When you know enough about Linux, it's impossible to use someone else's stuff. Because you're like, yeah, I like that, but I don't like that. So let's switch to that. No, let's remove that. Let's change this config. So then by the time you get done messing with someone else's rice, it's kind of like its own bastardization of it that is just not well representing what it is. So that's why I'm just not really interested. I think it's great, though, that he did it. I think it's a great spot for developers to start in Linux, for sure. But for me personally, if I had to get a lot of work done and I had to not just do anything, I would just do DWM. Xorg, X11, DWM, that's it. Like, I don't really want anything else. That works the best. You said the security guys get all the money. It's time to create the ultimate attackless surface. Yeah, but the problem is, you can't sell that. It's obviously the best way to create stuff, but like a good example of why that is flawed. I mean, it's not a flawed. It's true. It's absolutely the best way, best method. But just that's not how the world works. The world works from marketing. It's driven by marketing, and it's driven by commerce. And if you make an attackless surface, you kill a bunch of jobs. So there's no IT person that's going to install that for your business, especially bigger businesses. And that's why, like, you see WordPress everywhere. Talk about the absolute worst incarnation of a website. You know me. There's never a stream that goes by that I don't shit on WordPress because it's the worst structure ever. And just tons of attack surface. Talk about vulnerabilities. Holy shit. How many has WordPress had over the years? Thousands, maybe tens of thousands, probably tens of thousands. If you include the add-ins and everything, hundreds of thousands of exploits. So, yeah, like, but still the world uses WordPress, which is crazy. Like, what? What are you doing with your life using WordPress? And that's just what people do. And it doesn't matter what you say. That's just what they do. It's like, oh, okay, if I can make something 10 times as fast, twice as good, 1,000 times more secure, there's no interest there. They're like, but I like my WordPress is fine. I'm like, all right, that's fine. So, yeah. I don't know why. They're happy with their, blissfully ignorant, much like Cypher in the Matrix kind of style, you know? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And you learn to understand that. Like, just because something's the best solution doesn't mean, when it's technically the best solution, doesn't mean it's going to be used. You can see this time and time again throughout history. Like, VHS Betamax was a good example. Betamax was better. You had HD DVD and Blu-ray. HD DVDs, I think, was a better implementation, but it had licensing issues. And I think Microsoft owned it, where the Blu-ray licensing was much more open. So that's why Blu-ray took over instead of HD DVD, even though the technology on its head, I think HD DVDs were better. There's a bunch of technologies out there that kind of go that way, where I find that the actual technical specs and how it was technically put out there was, I think, a better product. Hell, I've said this before, and this is pretty a wild take, and most people just always like go, "What? That's crazy. You've got a screw loose, Titus." And that's usually like Windows Phone, I think, was still the best interface out of all the phones. I think the Windows Phone was a better interface than Android and iPhone. They're both very boring, and I don't really think they're that much more functional. And frankly, I think Windows Phone was just a better, technically from a software perspective, more proficient and just a better phone. But again, it was way too late to the party, had no ecosystem, it didn't attract developers, they had licensing problems. But these were all business decisions that Microsoft screwed up on. And that's why they missed the boat. So yeah, just give me the big juicy steak. Yeah, marketing's a huge thing in every facet, from technology to people. I can't tell you how many people talk a great game but are absolutely woefully incompetent. That is so true. And I can't tell you how many people I've met that were just geniuses, but good Lord, awful. They were awful marketers. They couldn't market themselves. They couldn't sell themselves, which was awful. You know, they would just not be able to talk to another human, which is sad because they're just abused and then kind of discarded when they're no longer needed. And that's like most geniuses in the space. Like a lot of people, I think, look at YouTubers and all these people that make it in the tech space and go, these guys are the best employees, or these guys really were at top of their class. No, that's not it at all. We're just good at talking to people. We're competent, but come on now. We're not the best. We're not the cream of the crop. We're not the smartest. We're just the best at marketing. That's what we do really, really well. It's true, though. So don't ever sell yourself short on that. A lot of people don't put enough stock in people's opinions matter drastically in how you're perceived. Whether you're perceived as smart, intelligent, all those types of things. Yeah, those are not from, hey, what are your technical skills? Those are from how well you can speak to another human. The other, as we've shown, there's been time and time again, people have come into the social sphere and they're like, I am the greatest thing that ever walked this earth. I'm like, okay, this is going to end badly for this person. And you know, eventually, you know, it does usually come out, hey, this person can't do it. But I would say even take some of the people that aren't, that are competent. I would say I'm very competent. I've done this for 20 years, but I'm not the best. I'm not anywhere near the best at what I do. The best typically aren't very good with people, and they do it day in, day out. Hours, you know, probably 10, 12 hours a day, all day. And that's all they eat, sleep, just drink this stuff. And that's all they do. And they're great. But yeah, I don't know how I got on that rant, but whatever. It's true. What's up, Bingo? Last day before getting 2 weeks off. Doesn't look good, though. Oh, no. There are a lot of people that just suck to talk to. Agreed. It's not fun. And usually if I really... The power dynamic can definitely mess with people. There's not very many people. Like, where I work, I actually enjoy talking to everybody up there. But I'm trying to think in the past when I've had like bad managers or something like that. That can be more trying. But typically bad managers are usually woefully incompetent, and it's only a matter of time before they're just cycled out. So I've had a bad manager, but never longer than about 6 months. And typically, if they mess with me, it wasn't good. Usually I was able to hold my own, and I'm very good at fighting back on that. So even when I had bad managers, they might have messed with me or tried to take advantage of me once or twice, and I let them know pretty damn fast that wasn't okay, and that was fine. it worked itself out in the end almost every single time. If you were to choose one of the fully tweaked Windows installs like Tiny 11, which one would you go with? I wouldn't. I would just use my own NT Lite. Just go buy NT Lite for $30. Make your own. If you want that type of thing. I can't get behind these spins and these different, again, this is back to the marketing thing. The marketing behind these essentially programs that, yeah, there's just too many opportunities for them to get exploited or you to get abused when using custom spins. And that's why I'm always like trying to say, hey, just make the tweaks yourself. And then if you want to steal my tweaks, that's cool. Do that. You know, just do the ones you want to do and then make your own. But I just don't think there is a good, there's no one that I would back up. Like, that's just not. There's just don't do that. There's never one I would fully endorse because there's just too many opportunities for things to just go awry there. I have this problem, but no information behind that. You know, it's kind of funny. Probably the people I've hated working with the most are super passive aggressive people that just can't vocalize. This lady I work with now, her name's Kelly, and I love her to death. But if you met her, you probably would just be like, God, she's such a bitch. And I say that in the most loving way possible. And I've told her that too. I was like, damn, Kelly, you're such a bitch sometimes. But I love her to death. She's my favorite user because anytime there's a problem, she will bitch about it and she'll let me know. And she's like, dude, what the hell? When I click here, this happens. And it shouldn't be like that. I'm like, yeah, Kelly, I know. Let me fix that for you. You know, we'll get that done. But I love her to death because she's very vocal in that. Take that same situation with someone that's super passive aggressive. With a lot of like younger people typically skew in this direction where they're afraid of rocking the boat. So what they'll do is be like, oh no, it's fine. I'll do it. And then all of a sudden, you know, they'll be talking to their boss or something and be like, oh yeah, I couldn't get any of that work done. The program just was running really slow and it's real sluggish. I don't know what happened. I'm like, you're telling my boss that, but you won't tell me that? What the hell? You know, so passive aggressive people are the worst. Those are the ones that I just hate working with. In general, the people that are really noisy actually are the best. You know, the people that most people would be like, that person's an asshole or a bitch kind of thing. Those are actually my favorite people because they tell me when something's wrong. And that's actually really nice. It's kind of nice. Nab's getting Hallmark advertising and targeted advertising. Squeaky wheel strategy, but it's true. Like, that's great. No, they're still afraid of Gen X. That's true. Kelly's a bit older. She might even be boomer generation. She's close to retirement now, but I love her to death. She's just the best. But yes, I know we hired some Gen Zers that came in, and Kelly scared the living shit out of the Gen Zers so much that they wouldn't want to talk to her. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, Kelly, come on. Oh, but she's the best. She's the best. I love her. So yeah, don't be so afraid. You know, that's the thing. There's, you know, most people all want the same thing at the end of the day. Just go to work, get crap done, get patted on the back, and then go home kind of thing. You know, it's fun. I find that I have to be professionally passive aggressive a lot during the day to see why. Oh no, what happened? Oh. when the customer is wrong. Okay, yeah, we're talking about inter-office relationships. Now, if we're talking about customers, I am always, I'm trying to think. Have I had any like really big No, I've had a lot of customer-facing ones, and typically for those, I'm really good at dealing with most customers. It's been a while though. I don't know these days how I would do with a full-blown customer-facing. Probably okay. I'd probably be okay with it. If someone was like woefully ignorant, I think that's probably where I get in the most trouble. But even then, I'm usually pretty gracious, where I can just be like, okay, it's not the worst. It's not the worst thing. So usually I can just be like, it's okay. Bless your heart. Let's get through this. The customer is always right. Lead with that. And then gently move them. Yeah, I think probably the biggest thing, if I had to tell someone, probably the biggest problem I see with most employees, or if you're having to deal with customers, from a technical or technician standpoint, I would say always think the best of a person. So when someone says something, instead of, a lot of people get really defensive or take things personal, and don't ever take like that comment and add negative connotations to it. Always think of a comment in the most positive manner that you can. Always think that people are on your side, even when they're not. It helps with relationships and just everything in general when it comes to work, where I think it's always good to think the best of a comment. Now, that's not to say in my head I'm not going, oh, fucking hell, this guy. So it's not to say just be woefully accepting of everybody. I'm just saying, always try and look at each scenario and think of the best that you can do and try and respond in that manner in a positive way. It's hard to do sometimes, especially on like YouTube comments is a good one in what I do. I always try and think the best of the comments. Sometimes I'm just like, man, that person's just having a day. You know, they just had to take it out on somebody, and they were just, my video popped up in their feed, and God bless, that's just where they decided to lay it down. And that's okay. So that's the best way to think of things. But yeah, sometimes just dealing with people sometimes just sucks. If you didn't have to worry about money, would you rather set up your own company or work for a company? I'm American, so you always want to set up your own company. How taxes work, if you don't run your own company and you're working as an employee somewhere, you're going to be paying a lot more in tax. Just an insane amount. Because once you factor in deductions and other things, there's so many little tricks when you have your own company set up. You always want to run your own company. Never work for a company. Like, that's the thing I think most people miss. I think when I was younger, I really thought, oh, I'll work for a big company and get high up, and then I'll make six figures and everything's going to be great. So that's how I thought back when I was in 20s. And yes, you can do all of that. And by means, like, God, I think I was watching a Theo video where he's like making $500,000 on Twitch a year. That's stupid money. Yes, take that. That's crazy great. But most people, like, the most I ever got paid was a base salary of $145,000 a year with 10% KPIs. So you could bonus up to about $15K on top of the 145. So about 160 was my ceiling. And that was a lot of money. But my God, that was the absolute worst experience I had, because I just got worked to death with that company. And yeah, it's just not scalable especially for my profession. Now, when you have your own business, you can scale in such a way that it doesn't affect your work-life balance as much as you think, and that you enjoy your work a lot more because you kind of own the thing. So I think you always want to own your own company. In the end, I think it's like something like 60 or 70% of all millionaires in America have their own business. So they're not necessarily high income earners like your counterparts that are making tons of money working for like a big company. But a lot of the millionaires are actually just running their own thing, and they're pretty darn happy. So yeah, I think that's it. If you are hesitant on spending an absurd amount of price for a Herman Miller chair, there's a really nice chair that is about to be released called the Libre Novo Omni. Bid, thanks for the Prime, man. What is that? Say it's even better for half the price. Well, now we're talking. uBlock Lite doesn't like it. Oh, it's a Kickstarter. The world's first dynamic ergonomic chair. Oh, shoot. How much is it? $900 for a Kickstarter chair. Kind of sus. Maybe I come back to that one. Eat Fart Hell. Okay, now that's a good name. Let's see what we got. See you in hell. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Kickstarters I've been burned too many times, so I don't really do Kickstarters anymore. If you lived in a different country, which one would you pick? Denmark. I really like a couple times I've gone through there. They have a really, really cool type system. It's not like massive traffic everywhere. You can bike pretty much everywhere. Just a great community. Good community. I think it actually is I think it's one of the happiest countries in the world on the happiness index. There's just a lot of things that I think Denmark hasn't going for it. And they had those commercials like 10 years ago, Do It for Denmark, where they had they were actually paying people to go on vacation so that they would get pregnant and have more kids. I think that's pretty hilarious. So yeah, probably Denmark. Yeah. The city of wind and potatoes in the mouth. Yeah, I mean, the problem with like Norway, Sweden, and a lot of those northern countries is they're really, really cold during the winter times, and I don't think I could survive the winters. So that would probably be there. Yeah, Finland's still it's still a little too far north. I don't know if I could adjust to the cold. Denmark's a little bit south, so I could probably make it in Denmark. If I was good at learning other languages, I mean, obviously Denmark's Dutch, but I mean, there's enough English and stuff you can get by there pretty easily. I know a lot of people like Taiwan, or not Taiwan, but I wanted to say Singapore, but no. God bless. What is it? Thailand. A lot of people love Thailand because it's really affordable. It's over there. So I see some people move to there for affordability and quality of life. I think, was it Lazy Peon is in Thailand. So he loves Thailand. He's another YouTuber. Does like gaming, like MMO type stuff. And that's not a bad one. But maybe even Vietnam. There's a guy I follow online that he does Vietnam. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Where you could have a pretty good quality of life for relatively cheap and live modest. So yeah, you know, there's a lot of options out there if you could go to a different country. I mean, me personally though, I have my kids, my family. I'm just like, there's no way I could ever really go anywhere. I'm just too late in life and too settled in. It's just how it is. Effing birds. Yeah, it's good. So I can take a piss on Denmark. Oh, we're in Africa or Asia. Asia's a little trickier. I'm trying to think. Southern parts of Asia where it would be all right. Probably like, I don't know if you consider South Korea down there. Probably Seoul. It's kind of, the cost of living's not great, but it would be okay probably, or around that area. Would probably be the best for Asia. For Africa, man, you think I would really like Africa because I do love the heat. But I don't think there's anywhere in Africa I would really like go and, like, let's say I was 20 and just really ambitious and like, yeah, let's go somewhere else. The infrastructure is probably the biggest issue I have, and I'm trying to think of somewhere that has really good infrastructure in Africa that could do all that, and I'm just like, quality of life, stable government. It's hard to say. Africa's just been so pillaged over the last 100, 200 years by other powers. It's hard to say that there's like something really stable where I wouldn't mind setting up shop, so to speak. Yeah, I don't know on Africa. I'm gonna have to take a pass on that one and have to figure that one out. Yeah. It's a little bit easier on the other side of things. Yeah, Africa's not known for stable governments because pretty much the rest of the world has destabilized their governments over and over and over and over again over the past couple hundred years. So it's kind of like, hard to pick. I've never even, where's that at? Canary Islands. That's interesting. Okay, that does not tell me anything. Come on, Google. It's a division of Spain. Interesting. Oh, one other place I thought was kind of interesting. Like if we go, where are you? It's this little island out in the middle of nowhere. I gotta clean my monitor. I keep seeing it. Not there. Not in Bermuda. I think it's maybe further up here. Maybe it is. Well, it's kind of like an island out here that I was like, oh, that would be great to visit. I want to say. It was right in the middle, and it was a rare island, and it had a really cool ecosystem. Lots of greenery. It hadn't been like completely pillaged over the years, like many of the island chains. God, I do need to clean this monitor. God, I just keep seeing island chains everywhere, and I'm like, nope, that's just a speck of dirt where I spit on the screen. All right, well. No, there's Hawaii. No. What about Africa? Jeez. Yeah, that's just a hard part of the world right there. To choose spot. Probably Egypt area be the closest. Cyprus is pretty cool. I've always wanted to visit there. Ah, man. Also, during the summertime, going to like Iceland or Greenland would be kind of cool. So, yeah. The Azores, yeah. The Azores, yep. Azores, that's what I was thinking of. Thank you. Would you visit the UK? Yeah. Yeah, UK's always been a place where I've wanted to visit. I just never really had any reason to. I think there was a time when what was that? The one prime minister you guys had that came into office and like left like a month and a half later after just completely wrecking everything. I saw the British pound dang near fall to parity with the dollar at that time when the dollar was really strong and the pound just got pounded. It almost got to like a 1-to-1 currency, and I looked at my wife and I was like, babe, if we want to go to London right now, today is the day. Because my goodness, we could just live like kings over there. But obviously that's not the case anymore. I think British pound has really recovered. So. All right, I think we're gonna do a pretty short stream today. Sorry, I was a little bit off my rocker today, but we got through all of that. We did get through all the PRs on WinUtil. We got a dev release out. I think that's pretty it. Yeah. If you visit the UK, there's more than London. Oh, for sure, for sure. I definitely wouldn't like. I hate big cities. I hate lots of people. So London, I know, wouldn't be my jam. I would definitely want to hit like countryside if I could, if I was going to the UK, because there's a lot of really cool stuff out there, and yeah. I know already where that's going. Yorkshire Dales. I'd also love to hit like northern UK too. So like hitting into where you get like the really thick accents and stuff. I think that would be pretty fun. I love a lot of the history over there. There's just massive amounts of like old castles and things to visit. That's where I would like want to actually visit. That would be more my jam. Big cities. Why are you in the Dallas area? Money. That's why. It's been great from Dallas-Fort Worth is fantastic for job opportunities. I came from Kansas, so originally a small town boy, and then moved to a bigger city like Kansas City for a bit, and then Dallas-Fort Worth. And as soon as I've been in Dallas-Fort Worth, I've never had a day where I haven't been working. It's always been that. I've had people poach me from different places. I've had recruiters. There's just the job market in Dallas-Fort Worth is fantastic. So, and it's spread out. Like Dallas-Fort Worth is a massive area, so it's not like New York where it's like everybody living on top of each other. Maybe like Central Dallas is kind of like that, but even then, like you have like these really rich areas like Highland Park and stuff where it's still kind of spread out. So it's not really like super big cities when it comes to Dallas-Fort Worth. And there's enough stuff and spread out and good infrastructure where you can kind of get around. So I like Dallas-Fort Worth for being what it is, a city. Not exactly a place I want to live the rest of my life, but maybe. We'll see. We'll see what my kids end up doing. If they end up moving away, then I'll probably get out of here. No doubt about it. Small town Oklahoma to OKC. Yeah, Oklahoma's all right. Oklahoma City's kind of gone through quite the renaissance in the past 10, 15 years. Would you move to a different part of Texas like Houston? No, I hate Houston. No offense to Houstonites out there, but God, it's like Satan's armpit. That's what I think of Houston. So humid. Like, I already am dealing with 100-degree heat here in Dallas-Fort Worth, but I don't need to be dealing with 100-degree heat and 100% humidity. That just sounds like absolute ugh. It's Americanism. We always ask, how's it going? Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of wild, yeah, to see how Oklahoma City transformed over the past 20 years. Like, I lived in Oklahoma City for about a year when my dad lived there for a little bit, and it was awful. It was a pretty rough city, I think, back in late 90s, early 2000s. And then, it has gone through quite a good transformation, so shout out Oklahoma City. Oh, I went to Mesquite, Texas in the 80s, and it was humid as hell. Mesquite... Wait, was that Mesquite, or is that a different city? Is Mesquite's Dallas-Fort Worth? Yeah, you might be thinking of Mesquite. If it's Mesquite, it's just about 45 minutes away from me. Where in America would you live where temperature suits you best? Probably California. I mean, that's why people live in California, I would imagine. It's like 70, 80, pretty darn good year-round. I think that's the big thing. But you got to worry about wildfires, I suppose. Oh, it was Mesquite. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, my brother lived in Mesquite for a little bit. I'm not a big fan. Oh, man. All right. Oh, who are we raiding today? I'm going to drop YouTube off. Later, YouTube. Thanks for sitting here, watching me pound around and getting some updates done to the Windows utility. See you guys on probably